Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today, I thought I would talk a little bit about, is gardening worth it? And kind of with that, the totals from last year's garden. So, if you're new here, we have about a 3,400 square feet of garden, and we do a back-to-Eden style method. So wood chips, all that. Anyway, normally I get a very large harvest from my garden. But last year was a little bit different. I had several things that kind of played into it. We are expecting our fourth child in a couple months here. And so towards the end of, mainly the main part of harvest time, I was not feeling very well. So I don't think I kept very great records. So that also probably is a little bit reflected in here, but it's okay. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of take some time to see what we harvested and how much we harvested. I love keeping records like this and figured out how much we actually get. So some of our early stuff was just lettuce and spinach and cilantro and munching strawberries. I didn't actually keep track of the strawberries at all because they never actually made it into the house because they were always eaten before we got there. But I got a whole freeze dryer full of cilantro, which was pretty great. I feel like that is something kind of pricey to buy. You get a bunch for I don't know, I haven't even bought it for years, but 79 cents maybe for a bunch. But I filled my freeze dryer full, and so I could use it the rest of the year. It stays nice and fresh tasting compared to dehydrated or even frozen. It just keeps its flavor a whole lot better. So I planted garlic last year, and I think I planted less garlic. Anna, can you get Peter out of the shed, please? I think I planted less garlic last year because I think I had too much the year before, but I probably should have planted more. I just need to plant lots of garlic because we go through a lot of garlic. When a recipe says 2 or 3 cloves, it means a whole head. Just how I do garlic. Anyway, so we had 110 bulbs of garlic, about almost 6 pounds of garlic. At almost $3 a pound. I forget where I found that number from. This is basically last year's prices, so I'm sure some of these prices have actually gone up. I just didn't take the time to really sleuth the prices. Anyway, at about $3 a pound, that would have been $18 worth of garlic. But it's organic, not grown in weird things from all over the world. I know where it's coming from, so it's good garlic. We had a really good cabbage year, I think. Was it cool this spring? Or was that the year before? It's hard to tell. It's hard to remember sometimes. Oh, thank you. If I collected all the usnea that Bethany brought me, we'd be rich. She's a little forage girl. Anyway, so the cabbage, they did really well. I had bought some plants from my friend, and those did really, really well. So I guess it wasn't because it was a cool spring. They just did pretty well. And I got 31 pounds of cabbage. And we ate a lot of cabbage. And I made sauerkraut. I still have some sauerkraut left. So I got 10 heads of cabbage at 79 cents a pound, which is what it is currently. It would have been $24. We got a gallon of mint that I freeze-dried. So I have lots of mint for tea, which is great. My onions did not do very well this year. So last year, I think, previous year, 2023, I watered them a ton. Kind of got left in the sprinkler and just got watered a ton. What? You found more usnea? This year, I did not water them as much. Probably because I had probably a 6-month-old when I was doing this. And it was just a lot of work to get down there every day and water and all the things. We had a very, very dry summer. And so watering didn't really happen all that much. I just couldn't. With a baby and a toddler, I couldn't keep up with it. So it is what it is. I had 266 onions, 18 pounds at $1 a pound, $18.75. Not great, but it was more than I had. So yeah, I'm not actually going to plant onions this year intentionally. I did not buy seeds for onions, but I have some saved onion seeds that I want to plant soon. I need to get them planted. Anyway, and I'll just grow those. And I'll probably just buy onions because this year they're cheap. Cheaper than... I can get them for a pretty decent price rather than growing them myself. Anyway, we actually had a really good broccoli harvest. We got a little over a pound of broccoli, which is great in my opinion. We made broccoli salad a bunch of times, and it was delicious. And then the worms came, and then we were done with broccoli. At $2 a pound, $2 worth of broccoli. Our potato year was actually really decent. We planted 50 pounds of seed potatoes, and I just kind of stuck the pitchfork in, lifted up the mulch till we got to soil, and stuck a seed potato in, covered it back up. That was it. We did have a lot of ants, and had a lot of zinnias, volunteered zinnias, which kind of hindered it a little bit. But other than that, we did pretty well. We got 178 pounds at 80 cents a pound. That's $142. We had a lot more herbs that I was able to freeze dry. So a gallon of oregano, a gallon of basil, actually 4 gallons of basil. And yeah, I think that might have been all our herbs we freeze dried, but that'll keep us set for a little while. We grew wheat for the first time ever and got a little over a pound of wheat. That was pretty fun, but also a lot of work. A lot of time went into like the winnowing, threshing, all that business. So I don't know if that was really worth it, but it was fun to do. Just kind of an experiment. We grew rutabaga also for the first time. Never actually had them before. Well, maybe I'd had them before, but like I'd never grown them before. And the first couple we had were very strong tasting. And then we had one that had gotten frosted a little bit in the fall. And I was like, whoa, these are really good. So if I can do it again, I would rather grow them in the fall and let them get nipped a little bit by frost. And then they're so much better, so much sweeter. Like, it was incredibly sweet. Beets, we got almost 2 pounds of beets. And I don't really know a price for that. It's kind of hard to tell without being in the store and weighing beets and all that. Anyway, we made a quart of pickled beets, and they were delicious, and they're gone. And I made some pickled eggs, and they're gone too. So I would love to be able to grow more beets. They're just very finicky to grow here because you have to keep them watered, and it's hot, and yeah, a little tricky. Carrots did not do super great. I planted a good chunk of them in the raised bed thing, but my dirt was very shallow, and so they did not, like, they were breaking off when they hit the hardware cloth that I have underneath it. And so, not a great plan, but you learn. Peter, buddy, come here. What you doing? Okay, rescued Peter out of the shed. Let's see, where were we? Let's see, we got a lot of beans this year, and they were delicious. We are still munching on them. We got to the point where I was like, I think I have enough, plenty of beans for the freezer, and so I was able to sell some, and so that was pretty cool. We had 146 cups, which is about 48 pounds, I think. At $2.87 a pound fresh, be $137.76. So that was a good crop. Our zucchini did horribly this year. Horribly. Well, back to the beans. It was interesting this year. Like, we did have the bean bugs and stuff, but they did not destroy our plants early. So that was really great. Anyway, zucchinis. I was not out there picking squash bugs every day because I have a baby. And I did not get them picked. And they destroyed my plants. My spaghetti squash. Like, I grew spaghetti squash. Did not get any at all. Anyway, zucchinis. You see yourself, buddy. My zucchinis, I got 2. 2 tiny little guys. Anyway, we had a lot of long cucumbers. We had a lot of volunteer long cucumbers, and then I had intentionally planted some. So we had 98 long cucumbers, which at $1 a piece. $98, good crop. I planted some shorter cucumbers, which I really like as well, and we only got 17 of those. So 75 cents for those, $12.75. And the peppers area is kind of a gray area because I know I had more peppers than this. I just did not write them down, I'm pretty sure, after I just did not feel good. But we got 70-ish maybe banana peppers. I was able to preserve a lot of pickled banana peppers, so that was really great. Probably about $20 worth of banana peppers, and like, I have not had to buy pickled banana peppers, and I think I still have 1.5 jars left in the fridge, so it should be a couple more months before I have to buy any. About the time, hopefully, when they're about ready to start. Maybe 1 jar or 2. Anyway, we got jalapenos, and again, this number is not accurate because I have written down 18, But I know for sure that, like, I gave away a gallon basket full at one point, so. No, we do not need to open that right now. You have your water cup right there. So I mean, that would be $5 of jalapeno peppers, but I'm pretty sure it was more than that. I also have written down 67 sweet peppers, which I also know we have more than that because we put several gallon bags in the freezer. And yeah, harvested a lot of peppers. Not quite as many as before, but I think my first batch of peppers got stunted after they got dumped out of their spots as soon as I had planted them. So I was trying to make sure they, like, all the cups had a seed, and it was a big fiasco. Anyway, we got some peppers to grow. Just not hundreds like last year. Like, I'm pretty sure we had like 800 peppers last year. We got 67 maybe-ish this year. Tomatoes did really, really well. We, I think we grew about the same amount of plants as the year before, but we got a lot more pounds of tomatoes. So about 217 pounds, which at $1 a pound, if I was buying them like at Aldi, $217. But if I was buying them by the case, not that many. I mean, it's like, I don't know how much it is a case. Like for a bushel, maybe $20 for a bushel. Anyway, our blackberries did not do as well either, but I think it was also because it was really, really dry. Got about 200 cups. And that'd be about $144 if I were to go pick them at several years ago prices. I have not seen a price for them recently, so I don't know. Let's see. We also grew a few melons, so 6 honeydew at $4.50 each, $27. We had a lot of volunteer watermelon all over the place, like way too many volunteer watermelon. We had 28 watermelon at $4 a piece, $112. Our biggest was like 40 pounds. So huge. I could barely get it up to the house and literally cut it on the floor because I didn't want to lift it. It was so heavy. It was really good though. Anyway, we got one cantaloupe. $3. Yep. Our sweet potatoes did a little bit better than last year, and would have been a lot better if I would not have baked them in the sun while I was trying to cure them. I'd read that you could lay them in the sun and they would cure if you left them for like 24 hours. But apparently you're supposed to rotate them or it not be 95 degrees when you do that or something. So I kind of baked a few. Then I had to use them really quick because they were going bad and there was a lot of bad spots that I had to cut off. So we probably could have gotten a lot more sweet potatoes for that. Anyway, 116 pounds. Not a small crop by any means, and we're still eating them. We have at $1 a pound. That's $116 of sweet potatoes. And our ginger was also a small harvest. Our ginger was also a very small harvest. 2.5 pounds-ish. But that's probably because I didn't water them at all, really. And it was so dry. Like, we barely had any rain. And then we had Hurricane Helene come through with, like, I don't know, 12 to 15 inches of rain in a couple days. And then it got everything really, really, really wet. But then, like, we didn't have rain again for another month. So just kind of a very dry summer. So with our ginger, at like $4 a pound, maybe $10. And then our peanut crop, we got a cup and a half of peanuts, like shelled peanuts. And it was fun to make peanut brittle with it. Not a great harvest, I would say. But also, like I had said, Hurricane Helene came through, saturated the ground. Probably about the time I should have been pulling peanuts out. Probably should have pulled them before the storm. Anyway, because the ground was so wet, they started sprouting. And so I probably lost half of them because they sprouted. Oh well, you learn, right? So anyway, all this was a grand total of $1,200 of produce, which is not small. I mean, we have a lot of this in our freezer, and I still have tons of tomatoes and blackberries to do stuff with. A lot to do stuff with. Anyway, but this will pretty much, it will last our family till the next crop comes in. So I was just kind of trying to think, like, is gardening worth it sometimes, you know? On some things, I don't know if the cost or like the time growing them is worth the crop that you get. Some crops are very easy to grow. Some are not. Some Some require a lot more input than others. Like, just trying to think. Like, peppers can be a pretty easy crop to grow if you get non-stunted plants, and then you just harvest them every couple of days, and you know, they're pretty easy. Sweet potatoes, you just kind of plant them in the spring and you harvest them in the fall. Potatoes, harvest them, you know, like, they're pretty cut and dry. But then you got other ones that are a little more finicky, like broccoli or cabbage, that if the season's not quite right, they're gonna die. And if it's, you know, if you don't pay attention, they could get worms really easy, and then they're gross. So, like, it's kind of a more finicky crop. Also things like carrots, beets, that sort of thing. If you don't water them enough, don't pay attention to them, then you aren't going to get a crop. Like in the fall, I planted carrots and beets and did not get anything because I forgot to water them, and it did not rain at all. So, you know, just stuff like that maybe isn't, like, if you don't have the time to put into it and pay attention to them, maybe not the most economical to grow or worthwhile to grow, I guess. So just kind of trying to think for this coming year. I'm going to have a newborn, a 1-year-old, and a 3-year-old, plus my 8-year-old, who can do a lot of gardening stuff, but, like, she can't do it all. Nor do I really want to put that all on her. That one right there. Anyway, I'd rather her just do it for fun. So we are going to do some crops that I hope will just kind of, like, take over the garden and not really require a lot of work. So, like, I'm going to do potatoes. I'm going to do sweet potatoes because those will cover a good area of the garden, and it'll be planted and can still be growing something, and are fairly low maintenance stuff that I can do probably with a newborn and a 1-year-old specifically. The 3-year-old, she's pretty independent. She can handle herself. The 1-year-old still falls in the ant piles, and the baby will need some lots of loving. And, you know, I will not be getting out there bright and early, probably most mornings, to water, weed, etc. So I'm putting down a really thick layer of mulch this winter. I need to finish that up. Yes, I have not finished it yet. I don't have much time left to get it covered before I have this baby. Anyway, I have like 2 rows left. Thankfully, God supplied 6 loads of mulch. This also cracks me up because back in the day, when I first started this back to Eden style thing, everybody was like, 1 load, it's so much mulch, and gotta stop, don't get any more. Well, here I am at 6 loads and thinking, man, it sure would have been great if I would have gotten like 7 or 8 loads. I'd have plenty, like, I wouldn't have to think about, oh, am I gonna run out? But it'll be fine. I'll have enough. I'm almost done with, like, the main beds, and I just need to do the walkways, and then I need to do the fruit trees, and then we'll be done. So anyway, back to what I'm actually growing. I want to grow peppers because buying peppers is really, really expensive, and I love having frozen peppers in the freezer. I can just pull out, chuck in things, and eat them to our heart's content. Love that. So I will grow peppers. I'll grow banana peppers because we also need them. I probably also will should grow some jalapeno. You guys squirt gun? Just because I need to make salsa this year. I will have to make salsa this year. And I don't have any jalapenos, so I'll have to do that. Yeah, you got that all yucky. Wow. You're so sandy. Thank you. You squirt? Squirt. You do. Mommy doesn't want to play with it. It's all gross. Ugh, you brought me a squirt gun that was covered in sand. But some things I think I'm just going to buy. Like, I'm going to buy cases of tomatoes. I'll find some place that has tomatoes, and I'll buy cases of tomatoes to preserve what I need for sauce and salsa and stuff like that. And then, honestly, they can all be done right at the same time. And I don't have to worry about, like, pulling the yucky ones out like I've had to do for the last several years. Anyway, I'm just going to do that this year. I'm going to grow a few just for munching, but that's it. I'm going to also buy corn. It's so much easier to just buy 5 dozen, preserve it all at once, and be done with it for the day, and not have to worry about the raccoons eating it the day before it's actually ripe, and all that. Let's see. What else? I might grow some melons. I might just let them volunteer because I'm sure there's going to be some out there. I'm probably going to try to grow some carrots and beets just because I really like them. And we have garlic growing. And I do have some onion sets maybe growing. I'll probably try to do some greens like lettuce, spinach, mustard, and maybe Swiss chard. I have some seeds for that. I'm also going to try to grow loofah this year again, because it's kind of a viney thing. I figure maybe it will just like cover a large area of garden that's not planted in anything. So, and I might do some more peanuts because they're kind of low maintenance too. So, cucumbers, I need to make pickles. So I'll probably grow some of those. Yeah, that's kind of my thought for this year. Plant the easy stuff. We need to probably grow beans too, which will not be super fun picking them all, but it'll be okay. We'll survive. Yeah. Yes? Oh, you found some more Usnia? Good job. She also likes picking all my time because it makes good tea for when you have a cough, right? Yeah. You got lots. Yeah. You my Usnia girl. My tea girl. Yeah. Are you going to help me in the garden this year?
Check.
What are you going to grow?
Just pick some additions. I'll put it in the pot.
Yeah, she's always stuffing stuff in my pockets. Ooh, you are very muddy. Please don't get that on me, or go take that back to the mud pile, please. Thank you. What do you want to grow this year?
Some onions.
You want to grow onions? Do you like eating onions?
Yeah.
Yeah, what else do you want to grow?
Some blueberries.
Blueberries?
Yeah.
What about blackberries?
Blackberries.
Yeah. Do you like berries of any kind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you my fruit girl? Yeah. We also have our fruit trees and things, you know, our blackberries and blueberries and raspberries. Those will all probably be producing pretty well this year. So we'll have lots to eat and pick and preserve and everything. So anyway, that wraps up this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. What did you grow in your garden this year? And was it a good year? Kind of failure? Or was it okay? No, we'd love to know what you were growing and how you were growing it and all that. So let us know down in the comments. See you next time.